Ghislaine Maxwell's brother breaks his silence after 30 years. Everything he has said right here on this episode of the Anthony on Air podcast. And, of course, more. We're talking about Piers Morgan and Meghan Markle. There's a lot to unpack there as well. Frankie C. joins us in the co-hosting chair. Stimulus just passed here in the U.S. Dr. Seuss back in the news. Bean Dip Guy and the Dow Jones. We are sponsored by our good pals over at Hero Soap Company, the absolute best soap I've ever had. You buy a bar of this, they send a bar over to the troops. It's made right here in the USA. Then they take the money that they make and they put a little bit more towards building homes for veterans mortgage-free. Incredibly kind company. Link in the description below. Support the Hero Soap Company. You're supporting the podcast, America, veterans, all in one beautiful little package.
All good stuff, baby.
Speaking of beautiful package, there's Frankie C, everybody. Take a bow, my man.
How you doing?
Ghislaine Maxwell's brother
What's up with this guy?
Spoken publicly in 30 years.
What did he say 30 years ago?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Who the hell wanted to hear from him 30 years ago?
30 years ago, he said, "I'll be right back." And that was it. Yeah. 30 years have gone by. And
he went to get a carton of cigarettes, and 30 years later, here he is.
Messed up, man. It's messed up. Ian Maxwell breaks his silence after 30 years. And I'm curious to get your impression on this, Frank. He came to his sister's defense regarding the prison conditions that she's going through right now. Now, we've spoken about this, but we got some more detail from her brother. But 30 years of silence and not doing anything publicly, and he's coming to his sister's aid. I'm a little surprised, but not surprised, because he also did allegedly help put up millions of dollars for her bail. Remember when she had that whole big $30 million bail package? He was a contributor to the funds for that bail.
Okay, so what about this surprises you? It's her brother. She probably believes whatever her story is. He probably believes whatever her story is.
Yeah.
And it's his family. He's gonna, I don't know. I guess he's gonna stand by her.
Listen, I love my sister, and I apologize, Michelle, if you're watching this, but if this evidence was against my sister, I'd be like, I never liked her, actually.
Yeah, it's not good. But, it is surprising that anybody is on her side. But if there's one person that's going to be on her side, I guess it would be a sibling. I don't know.
I guess you're right. I guess you're right. That bond between brother and sister is that's a deep one.
He hasn't spoken publicly in 30 years, which probably makes him 30 years old. But he's spoken to her, right? They were close.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they've spoken to each other, but it's still bad. That's tough. That's tough. It's tough to come to Ghislaine's defense, knowing what we know is out there.
Yeah, he mustn't have. I bet he, being a brother, just believes her story. I don't know what her story or excuse. Her excuse is that she's the victim, right? Is that what she's going with, or is that what we're assuming?
I guess so. I guess so.
Maybe the only thing I could figure is that he believes whatever her defense is. If you don't believe it, then why would you? Again, it's not a good thing.
Listen, one person says something about your sister. Okay, 2 people, 3 people, even.
Yeah, her track record's not good. I'm not saying she's innocent. She's not.
I know.
That's probably not the case, but yeah, no, it's and when it's your brother or your sister,
it's a tough call to make. To be like, I'm going to do this. What's in it for him, really, to look bad, other than saving his sibling, which I understand, but
yeah, there's a line though.
At some point, there are just bad people in this world, and they happen to be siblings and sons and daughters, and what I'm saying?
If your brother is Charles Manson or Jeffrey Dahmer,
right?
You might sever the tie there. I don't know.
You got to walk away from it a little bit. Anyway, Ian Maxwell, who's 64, said, and I quote here, to the BBC, "No human being should have to go through what she's been put through." Some can say the same about her victims.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was trying to phrase it in my head, and you got there first.
Yeah. It is really degrading. This is not the way that a democratic country should be running its prison system, he said about the conditions at the Metropolitan Detention Center. It's grotesque, and in that respect, it amounts to torture. Lawyers for Ghislaine have repeatedly claimed that the British socialite is being abused by jail guards while being fed inedible food and brown water, which has caused so much stress. She is now losing her hair. He said, and I continue, quote, I am worried about Ghislaine's capacity to endure much more of this treatment. Ian stressed that Ghislaine is, quote, presumed innocent, end quote, blaming, quote, fantastic press reporting that is way out of what is correct about her as a human being and about the case generally, end quote. Here's what's weird, Frank. Bear with me through this statement.
I'm with you. What do you got?
In general, I feel like he's kind of commenting on how we rush to judgment, cancel culture, social media, Twitter, just angry tweeting. He's kind of right in that sense. And I would say that he's mostly right when he says people are rushing to judgment. But I feel like Ghislaine is the exception to the rule because of all of the evidence and victims that have come forward and witnessed it. Like, I just don't know if you can have this amount of people pushing.
Let me ask you this.
Like,
if we go through the trial, everything plays out, and she's found innocent, is this going to be like the biggest thing since OJ?
I would think so.
The biggest upset?
I would think so.
Probably, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
And how could she'd probably not stay in the country, I would imagine.
I would think that would be probably pretty difficult.
The system says she's innocent until proven guilty, but there's been a lot of proof of her guilt, so.
It's not out of the realm of possibility that she finds a way to beat this out. Let's be honest. She claims
there are cracks in the system.
Yes.
If she exploits them, who knows?
She's hiring all the right lawyers, right? The one who defended the terrorists and all this and that. She's putting all the she's not laying down whatsoever. She's
fighting.
Putting them gloves on, getting ready to go 12 rounds for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, whether or not she has a defense, I don't know. I mean, who knows what these guys are coming up with? How much, why the brother is the spokesperson all of a sudden.
It's strange, isn't it? And I feel, call me crazy here, but I feel
You're
like
crazy.
this is all a play from her attorneys. Like, this to me sounds like, I forget that the one attorney, the one that defended the terrorist. This sounds like her kind of a move, doesn't it? Like, this sounds like very premeditated. Like, I have an idea. Let's get your brother involved. He has not said anything publicly. If he breaks 30 years worth of silence to talk about your poor prison conditions, that's going to cause a stir and a buzz, as it is. We're talking about it. Articles are being written about it. BBC's got the exclusive, got him to actually do the thing. I feel like this is not, I don't feel like this is him going, oh, I heard from my sister again on that call. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to break my silence. I feel like this is lawyers going, this is our next move.
If lawyers have everything under control, then there's no way he spoke publicly without their knowledge. I'm sure they had to run it. Like, yeah, why not say something? Especially since he was involved with providing the however million, 20-something million.
Yeah, I think it was like 29 in total. I think he ponied up like 5 of his own money or something.
What did that get her?
That was just going to get her out, just going to get her bail. She's just,
But it was denied.
Yeah, it was denied. Yeah.
So that money never left anybody's hands.
No, yeah, he didn't have to give it up in the long run. But I mean, they're still trying. I think the 3rd or 4th attempt is still out. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, this sounds like, you're right. I think it sounds like the lawyers saying, who's on your side? Oh, my brother and I have always been close. Maybe he could say something.
Yes.
Because no one's listening to me anymore. I've been yelling about the prison conditions and whatever. maybe my brother, an innocent guy on the outside, can say something.
Right, because it's been a while since we talked about it. I'm sure the lawyers probably talk about it, put out statements, releases every like we just ignore it because like we covered this part of the story already. There's nothing more to say here. We move on, But obviously, this is a little bit of a new wrinkle, and I think that's what the lawyers are they're orchestrating.
Yeah.
He also stressed Ghislaine's. He also attacked prosecutors. Excuse me, revealing so little. Attacked prosecutors for revealing so little about their case against his sister, including the identities of the 3 accusers she is alleged to have abused, as well as the time and dates of the alleged offenses.
Only 3?
Well, I think there's 3 that have
come forward.
Have their identities haven't right. Yeah. He says, and I quote, "Justice cuts both ways. There is justice for victims of abuse, but there is also justice for those who are accused of that." He says his sister has been in prison now for nearly 250 days and counting. She is in effective isolation in a cell that measures 6 by 9 feet, which includes a concrete bed and a toilet. There is no natural light. She is under 24-hour around-the-clock surveillance with 10 cameras, including one that moves and tracks her movements. That is her existence every day. The water that is provided through the prison is brown, and the food that she is given is highly microwaved and basically inedible.
How is that possible? I feel like, why is it brown? Do they put like a special browning filter on it? I mean, every place, has running, like, what are the guards drinking?
Yeah, it's Brooklyn, though, so, I mean,
yeah, that's true.
You were born in Brooklyn. You should know this better than anybody.
I didn't have too much brown water that I recall.
You were raised on brown water the first 3 years of your life, Frank. You should know.
That explains a little bit.
I will say, this is an underrated form of torture, the microwavable food. You over-microwave food. That's really hard to
if you over-microwave, but I microwave food almost every day, so I don't know.
Do you?
No, but a good amount of time.
Do you know I don't even own a microwave?
You're an idiot. Yes, you do.
No.
You don't own a microwave.
Swear to God. Swear to God. Do I have to get Cuddles in here to prove my...
I feel like I've seen a microwave in your house.
No. Swear to God. Hey, can you come over here? She's not even listening. Can you come over here and answer this question? Off the cuff. She hasn't heard anything. She was over here listening to something else, which is actually pretty offensive.
A little insulting.
Yeah, you don't have to come on camera. You could stay right there. Do we own a microwave?
No, I do not own a microwave.
All right.
See?
I believe Cuddles. I don't believe you, but I believe Cuddles.
It's been 8. No. Yeah.
Yeah, we use it every now and then. We defrost stuff. We heat up something like frozen crap if we take something out of the fridge.
Yeah.
Out of the freezer. But we cook all the time, but every now and then we throw something in the microwave.
It's a weird thing. We moved into this house with a microwave. The microwave stopped working. Well, yeah, that was also another problem. We would close the microwave door, you'd put it on, and you would just feel air coming out of the microwave, and I'm like, this can't be good.
No, that's a normal thing, I think, under the bottom.
I don't know about... No, it was like coming like full... It was like putting on an air conditioner. It was like...
Yeah, that's not good.
Radioactive air conditioner.
I forget whose house it was, but someone I know had a microwave that could only be closed if you put like a spoon or some kind of wooden thing.
Yeah, who
door,
was
jam
that?
it in the door.
I don't know who that was. Yeah, it does. Sounds very familiar.
I can't remember who the hell that was.
Anyway, we threw it out and we never bought a new one. We just never.
Yeah, good for you. I wonder if like professional kitchens. I know they're not supposed to cook with microwaves, but is there at least one microwave in like a Gordon Ramsay kitchen?
I don't think so. I think they have.
Like if they have to defrost stuff.
I don't think they do. I think they prepare
or
all
make
that
popcorn.
They're there at like 10 o'clock in the morning. I think that they're defrosting things naturally. And now convection ovens, I think that they have, and like pressure cookers and things, so they can cook some stuff fast. But
if we can get a professional chef on this show, I have so many questions for them.
I can get a chef on this show.
Get us a chef. Get us someone big. Get us a Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I can get a professional chef.
Yeah, what good are you?
We can talk to a chef. By the way, my uncle, hashtag my uncle cooks, Frankie C. I've started tweet. My uncle every night sends me food that he cooks, and I've started tweeting and Instagramming these dishes out. So if people like the food angle, people need a little bit more food and recipes in their lives. Make sure you're following on Instagram or on Twitter. It's at Anthony's Faves on both. You can get these links at anthonyonair.com. But as you can see here, this is the last couple of dishes. That was a pasta, chicken, and mushroom dish. He had scallops in this carrot puree thing that he made.
Look at that. Is he a chef?
He's close to it. He thought about doing it for a little while, and then he decided he'd rather
that?
make money for a living. That's like a
What
pasta.
is that I'm looking at?
That was a pasta and beans dish he made. He cooks out of the New York Times. Like I guess they send recipes, and he picks them, and he subscribes to it. So I put the recipe in there, and we do a picture, and we've been tweeting it out, and people have been
cool.
So check that out if you like it.
I've been getting more and more into cooking.
Well, with your microwave and everything, I get it. I totally
up them again.
Microwavable. What are you cooking?
No,
there?
like
Jimmy Dean's?
actual cooking.
Oh, okay.
Actual cooking. Actual cooking. And I for the first time I bought, because I was very excited. I bought smoked paprika. I just have to find something to do with it.
Smoked paprika.
I don't know how to use it. Yeah, I gotta learn how to use that stuff.
Get it on some chicken or some ribs. Yeah.
Oh boy, I got a lot to do here. I got a lot to learn, but I'm trying.
That's what happened to me over the last few. Like there was no reason for a microwave. We never really nothing from a microwave is good, really. I think it's the worst kitchen utensil or appliance we have.
All right.
Like think about popcorn. People are probably like, oh, popcorn. We make popcorn on the stovetop. Old school with the puffy.
Pioneer.
That's right.
You have oxen in the yard and a covered wagon.
We do.
What are you doing?
We have to. What did they used to say about getting across the river?
Don't die of dysentery. the Oregon Trail.
Hashtag Oregon Trail. Love you, miss you.
Love that game. Is there a new version? I'm sure there's got to be a newer version of Oregon Trail.
Yeah, they're still pumping out the Oregon Trails up until recently. Last 5-10 years, they were still making them. It's like one of those nostalgia plays. People love it. Anyway, to wrap this up, let's see here. Last couple things he said. She's a 59-year-old woman, and we understand that she's losing her hair, and she's also having trouble with her eyesight and her ability to concentrate because this is a tremendous pressure to be under. Still, he insisted that the media heiress is resolute in saying she's strong in her spirit and undaunting, but obviously this is very, very wearing physically. And he says this is all because of Epstein, that they're treating her this way.
Duh.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean...
Yeah, you got involved in some shit, man.
What
do you want?
Epstein is one of the biggest blunders in our justice system history. You can't have that happen to you again.
Yeah, that's why the 24-hour stuff... Oh, this stupid thing. The 24-hour surveillance, the limited amount of stuff in her cell.
You just can't have it happen again. It can't happen, you know? So yeah. I totally get it. Frank, listen to me. Piers Morgan is a little bitch, okay?
Oh, yeah. Huge bitch.
I will say this. Let me give you a background. He walked off his show.
Like a giant baby.
Because of Meghan Markle. We're going to go through all the things with you, but let me give you my background on Piers Morgan. I quite enjoy Piers Morgan. I like him.
You do? Or you did?
Well, historically, I enjoyed Piers Morgan's work. And here's the reason why. I like his CNN show. I never watched him on. Didn't he judge one of the, like, America's Talented?
Yeah, he was. I always took him to be like a ripoff Simon Cowell.
Right.
He was trying to be the bad guy who was, I'm just telling you the truth. Nobody wants to say it, but you suck.
He is clearly the second-rate Simon. If Simon's you can't get Simon, you make the offer to Piers Morgan. Sure. Yeah, for sure.
I never liked anything he did. To be honest.
Well, I know I enjoyed his CNN show in the beginning because it was kind of fun where you never really knew what you were going to get. I made this comment on the podcast the other day. Like, the reason why I found Rush and Hannity and Don Lemon, the reason why I find these shows so boring is because they're so predictable. Like, it doesn't matter what happens in the world. It's like, grab it, force it into the narrative, and push it out. You never tune into these shows and are surprised by what the host said. That's why I actually quite enjoy Bill Maher, because you can have this guy who traditionally leans quite liberal come out and be like, the Democrats are getting this wrong. And I find that to be incredibly refreshing. Like, that's kind of how I run my shit. So I could appreciate a Piers Morgan. He lost me a little bit during his show right before it got canceled, went off on this whole gun control rant. And I feel like I don't know. I wasn't with him on that, but I could still watch it. But it became all about that, and then he got canceled. So he lost me a little bit there. And then I never really knew what the hell happened to him. I know
he was on British. He moved back over. Ugh.
Yeah, he moved back over there. Well, but did he move back over there? Because I thought for a little while he was taping that show here in New York.
Oh, that I'm not aware of. I thought he did it over there, but.
I think he does it now. I think he does do it now, but I thought for a little while that he was doing it from over here. Well, irregardless.
Either way. Irregardless.
Here's the shot. Literally. I'm starting to champion the words that are either incorrect or misused. This is my goal in life.
A whole nother.
If you could, is a whole nother reason for me to live. Irregardless of what you think, I literally want to just use words and misuse words.
Literally.
But I have a little thing that people might not know about Piers Morgan, which makes me
she said. Oh.
feel like he's a complete and total little bitch. Because without this little piece of information, you could make the freedom of speech argument. You know what I'm saying? You may not agree with it, but I feel like you can make it. With this little tidbit, I feel like this little tidbit takes away that whole freedom of speech thing. So here's what happened.
Wait, what would the freedom of speech thing defend?
He doesn't believe, let's give everybody the background. Let's go through the whole thing. Meghan Markle and Harry do the Oprah thing on Sunday. Piers Morgan comes back on Monday morning and basically lambasts her, saying that he doesn't believe her at all, thinks that she's making these things up and, over exaggerating or whatever the hell it was he said.
Okay.
I have some of that. Do you want to hear some of this?
If you want to play it. You basically summed it up.
I think it's good to hear it from his stupid British mouth.
Irish.
I'm angry to the point of bawling over today. I'm sickened by what I've just had to watch.
Okay, a number of people might be upset.
Sorry, you can come to you can defend it in a minute. I'm just going to say what I'm going to say.
Okay.
This is a 2-hour trash-a-thon of our royal family, of the monarchy, of everything the Queen has worked so hard for, and it's all being done as Prince Philip lies in hospital. They trash everybody. They basically make out the entire royal family a bunch of white supremacists by dropping this race bombshell without.
What's that phrase?
They didn't name which one it was. They just throw it out there so it could be any member of the royal family. And Harry says, "I'll never say who it was." Well, you better say it fast.
What's the part of the interview that you're referring to?
The bit where they accuse an unnamed member of the royal family. This is the race bombshell that Meghan drops. Harry then talks about. Let's watch.
Yeah, we don't have to actually watch that, actually watch that.
Yeah, it was the thing about their son.
All right, so here's a little bit more. Here's a little bit more. Again, this was morning after, so this was Monday morning.
No doubt about it. They have described what they said was an almost unsurvivable experience. They have both said that they felt controlled within the royal family, that they felt trapped, that they felt at risk, that their security was removed. Grace, obviously, they claim, played a part in that, and they made very serious accusations, as Piers says. But Meghan has, within this interview, said it got so bad that she was suicidal. And I think a lot of people will feel extremely concerned about that. Let's just have
All right, so they play a clip, and then they come back from the clip where she's talking about how that she felt like she didn't want to live anymore, and then this was Piers Morgan's reaction after that. Take a listen.
Okay, again, let's have the names. Who did you go to? What did they say to you? I'm sorry, I don't believe a word she says, Meghan Markle.
Well, that's a
I wouldn't believe it if she read me a weather report. And the fact that she's fired up this onslaught against our royal family, I think is contemptible.
This guy, and I love that. So the anchor's like, okay, that's pretty pathetic. She's obviously coming on the other side. I actually, I don't agree with him. I don't agree with him, but without this little nugget of information I'm going to share with everybody, don't entirely have a problem with what he's saying. I have a problem with it, but he can say it. I'm okay with him saying it, but
say whatever he wants. But
he can say whatever he wants. I'm especially okay with it because she's there to give the other side, like whoever his co-anchor is there to give the other. Like she's calling him pathetic. She's like, "You're an idiot." Like I'm okay with that as long as she's like the voice of reason in that scenario. I'm okay with him being like, "I don't believe it." By the way, I'm sure there's plenty of people that watch the interview that don't believe her. It's a little different when you have the huge mouthpiece of Piers Morgan.
Nobody believes anything anybody says 100%. It's not. I mean, like what I'm saying is not 100% of everyone believes everything everyone says. So, yeah, and plus Piers Morgan is a little biased, and I think that's where you're going with this.
Well, I'm gonna get to it, and I love it. So that was Monday. This was now Wednesday, where one of the people on the panel start taking Morgan to task. I'm not gonna play the whole thing because it's 2 minutes.
I love it. What he says in this. Damn it.
Go ahead. What he
says in this is perfect.
Yeah,
he sums it up perfectly.
By the way, I didn't know this. My wife had to tell me. This is the weatherman talking. So.
Awesome. Promote that, man.
It is not often you get the weatherman on the broadcast making the most poignant.
Making the most sense and causing the anchor person to storm off. Love it.
All right, yeah, let's skip ahead a little bit.
And also to Harry. And I hear Piers say that, William has gone through the same thing. But do you know what? Siblings experience tragedy in their life. And one will be absolutely fine and brush it off, and the other will not be able to deal with it so strongly. And that's clearly what has happened with Prince Harry in this situation. He walked behind his mother's coffin at a tender age in front of the globe. That is going to shape a young boy for the rest of his life. So I think that we need to all take a step back. And I understand that you don't like Meghan Markle. You've made it so clear a number of times on this program, a number of times. And I understand that you've got a personal relationship with Meghan Markle, or had one, and she cut you off. She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to. Has she said anything about you since she cut you off? I don't think she has, but yet you continue to trash her.
Okay, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
Do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, maybe not mine.
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do
This is
this.
absolutely diabolical behaviour. I'm sorry, but Piers spouts off on a regular basis, and we all have to sit there and listen.
Yes.
6:30 to 7 o'clock yesterday was incredibly hard to watch. Incredibly hard to watch.
Oh, I love it. He just, he said it perfectly. Piers can sit there and go off on Meghan, and whenever someone calls him out on it, he falls to pieces like a baby.
I gotta say, it's a really, look, again, having done this for a living, I say, you say, we say a lot of things, and sometimes, well, this is really more me than you. Sometimes they upset people. Everybody seems to love you all the time, Frank. But sometimes they upset people, and sometimes people are going to say things
you
back
blame 'em?
to you. Sometimes people are going to say things back to you. The fact that you can't take it is that's bitch move number one. Like you've got to sit in there and take those jabs back from the weather guy. Like you should be able to withstand.
Or have a defense. He had no defense, and that is the classic move of someone with zero answer. When that guy, the weather guy, calls him out, he could have easily said, "No, she said something about me," or it's justified, or anything I say about her comes from a place of truth, and this and that. But he didn't say that. He got up and left because he had no defense. That was his only way out of that awkward situation, was to get up and leave.
And it's so easy against the weatherman. You just be like, I don't know, can't you go point to some clouds or something? Nobody wants to hear you talk. Like that's what most of us are thinking when the weatherman speaks anyway, right? Am I wrong here?
No, you're close. I don't want to insult any weather people out there.
I'm just going off of what I learned from Anchorman and Brooke Tamlin.
That's true. He was not the smartest person on that thing.
No,
but,
I mean, isn't that the old joke? Like the weatherman and the drummer in the band, like it's both the same. Like yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
Gad, you were saying, Frank.
No. I'm just saying that my internet sucks today. It's weird. It's hit or miss. We get a good day, the whole show. It's great.
Don't worry about it.
Right now, it's blipping out on me.
Don't worry about it. So that was that. So the weatherman alluded to and kind of said what I'm going to say here now, which was that there was some sort of a relationship between Piers and her, and that she cut him off. So little investigating and go to find out that was indeed true, that Piers and Meghan Markle started following each other on Twitter back in 2015. He made a big stink out of this. He was talking about it all the time. Like when she followed him, he was like, going on and bragging about it, because she was, I think she was on Suits on USA at the time. Like that was her big claim to fame, was Suits. I don't know. But they were talking a lot, and then they agreed to meet for drinks. This is kind of a crazy portion of the story, and as we do that, let's bring in Jay Sabs to join us on the program here. How's it going, Jay Sabs?
Jay Sabs.
Oh, wonderful.
We are revealing
Yes.
the reason why Piers Morgan is a bitch. I'm giving the background. I'm giving the history. They started following each other on Twitter, right? Piers Morgan made a big deal out of it. Then they agreed to meet for drinks in London. So now you have Meghan Markle, who's, by the way, like what, 9.5 out of 10? I mean, what would you rank Meghan Markle at?
She's not bad.
She's exquisite.
She's very good looking.
The other one's wife, what's her name? I always thought she was hot.
Kate Middleton?
Yes.
Oh,
Like I was like, Kate Middleton is hot, but Meghan Markle, I'm gonna get, and I'm not just, this isn't just because of the current events, but I'm just saying I'd put her above.
she's very pretty. She was a model.
I'd rank her higher than Kate Middleton. As far as people I want to sleep with at the royal family, this is my list. Number 3 is Kate Middleton. Number 2 is Meghan Markle, and number 1 is the Queen. And
I mean, obviously, you have to go with her.
eye on the prize. You always go for the top of the, you know what I'm saying?
Isn't there a Peppa or a Pippa Middleton or something?
That's Kate's sister.
She's hot.
What, you want to stick it in her, Frank?
I think she's the hot one out of the two Middletons.
I'm gonna have to look this up now. I don't know what Peppa looks like.
Is it Peppa?
Pippa, not Peppa Pig.
I was gonna say
I don't know.
the only Peppa I know is Peppa Pig. Am I right, parents?
Yeah, it was not as hot.
No.
Well, no, that's hurtful because Peppa Pig is sexy in her own right.
I guess.
Unless she's a kid, a child pig.
I think Peppa Pig is a boy, though.
Always.
Sorry.
It just goes to show you how much I pay attention to that show.
I think
I zone out. My kids watch Peppa Pig. I
Me
zone
too.
out.
Any show.
Bluey. I zone out during Bluey. I can't stand Bluey.
Man, that must suck, huh?
And yeah. See, I was trying to Google Peppa Pig and Peppa, and
Frank's like,
Middleton.
my kid sniffs his own ball sack, so but your kid can't do that.
He does.
Oh, Peppa might be a prettier than Kate. Actually, you might
Told
be
you.
right about this.
Pippa.
Oh, Pippa.
Oh
Pippa.
my god.
You're right. It is Pippa.
Anyway, moral of the story is Piers Morgan's a bitch.
So Piers Morgan and her, they agree to go to drinks and meet in London. Okay. So they go and they meet, have a couple cocktails, whatever they do. Supposedly that was the night that she meets Prince Harry. Piers goes to text her the next day and she don't answer. And she subsequently never answers him after that.
Completely ghosted.
So this son of a bitch.
Completely ghosted.
Yeah, he's just jealous. I feel like this is just straight up jealousy over the fact that you lost the girl
Absolutely.
to the Prince of England, basically, is what it is.
Wait, you think that they were gonna like go out?
No.
They did go out, didn't they?
Here's what I think.
I mean, like go out.
Here's what I think. I think he thought
Yeah,
that they were going to go out and that he was
Really?
gonna. Yes,
absolutely. He
absolutely.
thought he was going to
Really?
get somewhere with her. Yeah, they hung out.
Absolutely.
They were messaging each other back and forth, and they went out for drinks and stuff. And then the day she met the prince, he never heard from her. Piers Morgan never heard from her again. So he thought
You don't
that he
think
was
so,
going to get
Janine?
somewhere, and he's a jilted.
No,
Jilted
I
guy.
don't.
Why don't you think?
I have to let me go read this more, but I really don't. I don't think he. I mean, he's
think
much
about it.
older.
But he's not that much older. It's not like it's 30
not unheard
years
of.
difference.
How old is he?
I don't know. Let me see. Let's find out how old Piers Morgan
Piers
is.
Morgan, I would guess he's like what?
In his
60?
50s. No, I don't think so. I think he's in his 50s. He's 55.
Alexa, how old is Piers Morgan?
55. He's 55.
Yeah.
Did Alexa
Yeah,
get it right?
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
I mean, that's like would I date a 55-year-old guy? Because we're the same age.
She's 39. He's only 16 years older than her. And when you're in your and this was how many years ago was this? 2015? 6 years ago. So he was 49 and she was 33. That's not a stretch.
It's not a stretch at all.
I mean, yeah, because guys always want to date younger girls.
Guys
So, there
do
you
want to
go.
date
He thought
younger
he had a
girls.
chance.
Yeah, but
But
especially
I just don't think. I don't know. I just don't think
Why?
so. I don't know. I just have a strange feeling about this.
But especially, you don't think that it plays into the fact that he's Piers Morgan and he thinks I'm Piers Morgan. I can get.
I saw the interview where he described that day that Anthony was talking about. Hang on.
You didn't pause there,
Okay,
Frank.
that
Go
Anthony
ahead.
was talking about where they went out. They went out for drinks. It was like 2 hours. They went out to at some bar. Like they met up. She wanted to meet him. They went out, and then he thought, well, he just sounded the way he was talking. He was like, "Oh, we were, getting along, and it was great." And then she went to this party and met the prince, and I never heard from her again. She completely ghosted me. You say ghosted usually when you're talking relationships.
Right. And that's the thing, too. Like, he was bragging at the time that, like, we're going to meet for cocktails. Or she's following me on Twitter. It was all a big, run up to, I think
He thought he had a chance.
I think every
But
guy
how would he
thinks,
know her? That's the thing. Like, how would he actually know her?
because he was Piers Morgan and she was an actress on Suits. On
Yeah, and she
USA.
started following him, and they messaged each other, and they met for drinks.
And again, let's be honest, his status was way higher than hers. Like, she was just an actress on Suits.
Like that is
Yeah.
right.
And he
I
was
don't
Piers
know.
Morgan.
I have to go listen to him talk about her.
I guarantee you listen to him talk about that day where
You think I'll
she
change my
ghosted him.
mind?
It sounds like someone saying, I was ghosted and she left me and I thought I had a chance. He didn't say that outright, but you could tell he thought he had a chance with her to be in a relationship or something, or date her at least. and he just got
Right.
ghosted.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that's such a big difference? Would you guys date a 55-year-old woman now?
Yes.
Sure.
You would?
But, I mean, if I weren't married, but yeah.
Don't tell my
55
wife,
is
but
not
I'm
bad.
actually trying to do just that.
There you go.
Okay.
Would you
I
you
mean-
wouldn't date a 55-year-old guy?
You're trying to date a 55-year-old guy. Our friend's father is the apple of your eye.
Actually, he's 70, so that's a different story, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not
Totally different story.
55, 70.
What?
Not 55, 70. Just to give you an example, Tom Cruise is 58.
Is he?
Yeah. Would you date a guy, maybe not him specifically, or maybe you would. Would you date a guy like Tom Cruise?
I'm not into Scientology, so
Again,
no, but
not him specifically.
I don't know.
But he's a good-looking guy. He's wealthy, and he's 58. Doesn't look like he's 58.
Money isn't everything, Frank.
I didn't say it was. I said he's a good-looking guy.
Money isn't everything, but something is.
Water.
What are you drinking there?
Yeah. No, I wish it was straight vodka. Maybe it is.
We don't know.
Here's the thing about that.
Uh-huh.
I know people say, like when you're younger, and if it's like 20 and 35, it's a world's difference. And like when you get older, it's not so much of a big deal. But I can see it. I can see the difference. Because my friend was dating someone, and it was like, kind of like the same age difference. He was a few years younger. But I feel like the age difference played a role in their relationship hugely.
Wait,
Well,
of your
here's the-
friends
Bigly.
or of Megan and Piers?
I think both.
Well, here's the thing.
But you got to think about it
Here's
this
the
way. He's a guy. Do you think he really is worried about dating how a younger girl is? Like, I'm not talking
guys
about.
don't care.
I'm not
Guys
talking about.
That's the point. That's the point.
That's the point.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
I
The
don't
guy
care what
he
she
cares.
thinks.
Well,
He
we-
could have.
What she thinks in this particular instance is irrelevant. It's him because he's the
Him.
one who feels like he got burned.
Yeah.
Do
He
you
was
think that
pursuing her.
he thinks he could have gotten her?
Yes,
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
1,000,000,000%. He thinks he could have gotten her. There's no doubt
Maybe
in that.
I
100%.
disagree with this because I don't think he could have gotten her.
I don't think
Yeah,
he could have.
Exactly.
I don't
And
think he
she
could
probably
have.
didn't think so either.
Right.
But the point is, he thought.
This is a classic thing of she's just there thinking she's made a new friend, and he's there thinking I'm gonna nail this hot younger chick.
Yeah,
This
just
is-
like
She
every
ghosts
other
him.
guy.
Happens
And
all the
that's it.
time. By the way, I can empathize. I sympathize with him. Same exact thing happened to me. I met this girl. Her name was Maite. We had a couple of dates. Next thing I know, she runs off and actually marries Prince. So the whole thing, that was Maite Garcia. The whole thing, we live parallel lives. She married Prince. Pierce lost his to Prince Harry. So, but we're actually in a very, very small exclusive club, Pierce and I.
I mean, okay, you know what? I'm gonna have to go watch this. But I don't know. I don't know if it actually could work.
No, it couldn't, which is why she
I mean,
Didn't
like
do it.
with normal, regular people who are not famous.
But what's
I don't know.
crazy,
Maybe.
but I feel like him being like, I don't believe her, there's nothing wrong with that until
But
we
he's
uncover
biased.
the little nugget of this is all just an angry old man who got stood up and got ghosted.
That's it.
Yep.
He's biased. He can't give his opinion on this.
Exactly.
Nope.
Exactly.
Sorry.
And also,
He's
it's
looking for a stimulus that he's not going to get.
it's not a good look. Frank's trying to segue to the next
I'm just
topic.
moving us on to the
He's
next
like, come on, let's go.
I'm just saying it's not a good look that you walk off your show and you
like a giant baby.
hand in your resignation to the company and they go, all right, thanks. Like, that's not a good, if your company's not willing to fight for you and be like,
Yeah.
listen, let's talk about this, like cooler heads prevail, blah, blah, blah. They're like, all right, cool. See ya. Thanks. Like,
Yep.
that's kind of That's kind of
Goodbye.
harsh.
Yeah.
That's a little harsh.
Oh, well, they were probably looking to part ways for a while, and he just saw an opportunity to leave.
Yeah, and this was the thing to actually get it done. Stimulus passes here in the United States of America. It'll go to Joe Biden's desk on Friday. $1,400 checks, $300 a week jobless benefits. Child allowance gets kicked up to $3,600. This is something that President Trump put into play, upping it to $2,000, and the Democrats now up it to $3,600 for this. $125 billion for schools, kindergarten through 12th grade, $30 billion for public transit, $25 billion in rental assistance, $14 billion for vaccine distribution. I don't seem to have the number here, but I think it was a hefty amount of money that was going to restaurants to help keep them all afloat. And not one Republican voted for this. In fact, only one Democrat
disgusting
voted against it. Is this a
Why?
bad look for the Republicans, Janine?
I mean,
we know what Frank's going to say.
Obviously. I mean, he's just waiting right now.
That's
He's
fine.
sitting on his hands.
I don't have to say a thing.
I just don't know why they wouldn't. You know, it's like, I don't know. I don't get that whole thing. I really don't get the whole thing.
It's a sad state of affairs when they have to stay amongst party lines all the time, no matter what. Like, I'm sure there's restaurants, there's plenty of businesses. Republicans are supposed to be the party of businesses. Yet here's an instance where you can help. One of the biggest businesses that were impacted by this is restaurants, entertainment, travel. And finally, here's a little money right directly into their kick. And not one Republican can break rank and say, I expect them to be like, look, I'm not one for handouts, but our businesses are hurting and we need to help them. And this is going to help. So that's why they're getting my yes vote.
It's ridiculous that not one.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, right?
Why wouldn't it be unanimous?
Yeah.
This is just money that's going to help everyone. And why would they say no to that? It's not going to go in their pockets.
It's not a political issue. Does that make sense to you guys?
Like the relief you're saying, the getting back
to me.
Yeah.
To me, it's not.
Then it shouldn't be. Then it shouldn't have been a split that way. If they didn't see it as a political issue, it wouldn't have been no Republican. There would have been some Republicans voting for it if it wasn't a political issue.
Yeah, I don't know why.
According to them.
I just don't get the stance too, because this is something that Democrats are going to hit them with come election time.
Of course they are.
I mean, every one of these Republicans is going to have to. They're going to have to withstand the
They're not going to
ads.
answer for it.
Yeah, the ads of like, why didn't they vote to help? Blah 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 blah. I mean, it's kind of.
Wait, if they didn't vote for it, then how did it get passed?
But they don't have the majority.
The Democrats have the majority in the House and the Senate, so they don't need the Republicans to do anything.
So then, why do they even have to vote? That's what I don't get.
Because the Democrats have to vote too.
Yeah, but if they have
everybody's got to vote.
Yeah,
the majority. I mean.
It's got to be official.
It's a tough year for a lot of people, though. I mean, everybody's hurting. It's hard to say no. The first one went across like gangbusters. I mean,
a year ago, you mean?
I'm sure there were some people that voted against it for whatever reason, but for the most part, it went across like gangbusters. And I think that there was a lot of BS in this bill. I don't know. I could have my producer check into it. There's a lot of BS in this bill originally that they kind of had to take out. And I think they did take most of it out. Don't quote me on that. It's a huge bill. It just happened an hour ago. I'm sure there could be still some shit in there that doesn't make sense.
It's probably this thick. Who the hell knows?
But
that's what she said.
Thank you. But I think that for the most part, it's just a pure, straight up going right to the Americans that really need it. So I don't think it's a good look for Republicans.
How anybody could vote it down and say no to it. They should have,
especially the restaurant business.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The schools, there was a portion of money going to make sure that everybody doing remote schooling has internet access.
Yeah.
There's a big portion of that going towards that. Why would you vote against this? I mean, unless there's something in there like, hey, Republicans, we get your firstborn, then you shouldn't be voting this thing down.
Yeah, I mean, I know the argument of you don't want to add to the deficit, but I believe this is all within the budget because that's part of how they were able to get it through in the Senate with such a small majority. So I could be mistaken about that too. But, again, this is not like this is anything that we can't
It's
afford.
disturbing that the people who represent us, not all of them want to help us when we need it.
I mean, here in New York, everybody is going crazy over Cuomo. I know multiple restaurateurs who have publicly been like, I was a Democrat and I am no longer because of how shitty Cuomo was handling this. And now they can't even get the Republicans to help them. Like, again, it's just, you find yourself in this place where nobody represents you.
It's unbelievable.
It's really it's a harsh thing to be a part of, but bad luck for the Republicans today, I think.
Yeah. I mean, if it's not a Republican Democrat thing and you're just voting with what you believe is right, then how is it split that evenly?
Yeah, that's dumb. I agree.
It seems
It
like the
shouldn't be a
Republicans are
Republican or a
voting.
Democrat thing.
Yeah, it seems like the Republicans are voting one way just because everybody is on the Republican side.
And again, one Democrat did vote against it, so that he had reasons to vote against it for whatever the reasons were.
Love to hear them.
I'm sure there were some reasons, but again, it's like this is going directly to workers, people, not businesses.
Yep.
I mean, there is business, there is some government entities, but for the most part, directly to the people that need it the most. And to go up against that is tough. That's a tough.
I'd love to hear the Republicans explain why they would want this to fail.
Yeah. Dr. Seuss books, we talked about them pulling some of these from the shelves, and now those specific books have become bestsellers.
Of course they have. Everybody wants to collect
I figured
them
that too.
before they go out of print.
They decided to stop selling 6 books. 6 books in the top 10 bestsellers. All those 6 books have made it into the top 10. Explain this one to me, because I don't. I mean,
what do you mean explain this one? It's going to be a collector's item.
Is it though?
Because people want it now. People want it now.
Yeah, this is a Dr. Seuss book, and it's no longer going to be printed. Imagine 100 years from now, you give it to you pass it down, whatever. It's going to be worth something. This is a book that's no longer. This is a book that you can no longer get. It's going to be a collector's item. That's all.
Yep.
They're not buying it so they could read it to their kids. They're buying it so they could have it because it's going to be worth something.
Oh yeah, let me show you.
You don't think it's a spite buy? You think it's a collector's item buy?
Yes, collectors. I would say 90% of it is people are buying this because it's going out of print, and it's such a big news story.
I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like, I remember when Mickey Mantle was dying. And people were going crazy over Mickey Mantle dying. So my mother, because at the time I was collecting autographed baseballs and baseball cards. I was a young boy collecting baseball cards and shit. My mother goes out and spends like. My mother goes, me dating chicks, collecting baseball cards. You know how it was back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day.
Nothing got chicks like showing them your collection of baseball cards.
Anyway,
you want to see my Mickey Mantle 68? I don't know.
She goes out and spends all this crazy money on the Mickey Mantle autographed baseball. It's like been 20 years. I don't think that this thing has gone up $1 in value because so many people bought it. So many people have it. Like, I don't think it's,
Yeah, it's only been 20 years. You give it another, 30 years. It'll be worth an extra $2.
I think my mother spent like $300, $400 on it. I just Googled Mickey Mantle autographed baseball. You could buy one for $328 right now.
Nice.
So I feel like this is the same. And again, this is like the same thing of like Hesh trucks. Like at one point they were worth a lot of money, and then everybody started buying them all the time, and now nobody cares about an old Hesh truck. I don't think this is...
Oh,
Yeah, but for like what? I don't know, $10-$20, the Dr. Seuss book, people are gonna buy it just because. Hey, look what I got! I got the book everybody's talking about.
I don't know. I think this is one of those things that people are not going to give a shit about in 3 more days.
Yeah, it's like it's a fad. It's like Beanie Babies. Everybody's buying them because they're the big. It's the big topic.
Exactly. Where are all those Beanie Babies right now?
There's a handful of them that are worth thousands. The rest are not worth anything.
Really?
I could believe that.
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 of them that are worth a lot. But
Bean Dip guy, Frankie C. Tell me about this Bean Dip guy.
So Bean Dip guy, there's a
God.
stuntman out in California who sat for 24 hours in a pool of bean dip because he wanted to attract customers to this restaurant that was, I guess, going down, and he was a big fan of it. So this was just a stunt for him to, let's see, he's going, it's in, the name of the restaurant is called Los Toros, the Bulls, I guess, but Los Toros. And he did it. He sat outside, full mask and everything. See if I can get you a picture here.
I think this should be our next bet. Loser has to sit in Bean Dip for 24 hours.
Oh God, no.
I wouldn't waste that much bean dip.
Janine, do you not like Bean Dip? I'm getting an adverse reaction from you here.
I don't really like the term.
You don't like the term?
No.
Bean
the
Dip?
Guy in the cowboy hat.
Just sounds weird. Oh, that's ew.
In like a kid pool.
See,
Full
give me
of bean dip.
Give me some chips and melt some cheese on top of that, and we're having a party.
Now, what are the odds? He's in there 24
That kind of party.
hours. He's in there 24 hours. What are the odds he had to go to the bathroom in that thing?
Yeah, but that's a beautiful thing about Bean Dip. You don't even notice. You can't even tell.
Depends
One
on
or
what kind.
twosies.
Yeah.
Who knows? But he did it, and he wanted to attract customers. And hey, it made national news, so I'm sure people are going now. What the hell?
How much money would it cost us, Janine, to have you sit in Bean Dip for 3 hours?
Oh God.
$100?
You wouldn't do it?
Yeah. $100. I'll do it for $100.
Frank, I'm in for 50.
Okay, 500.
No.
Frank, I'm in for 50, and I'll cover the cost of the Bean Dip. You get the cost of the kiddie pool.
You're going to cover the cost of however many gallons of bean dip that is.
Yeah.
Just the sound of it, and no.
Have you ever had it? It's very good.
Just like plain like.
Have you ever had refried beans? Or like?
Yes.
Have you ever had like a burrito with beans in it?
Yes.
That's basically what it is.
But
it's just beans and.
Did you ever smell the can of refried beans?
Excellent point, Janine. I don't know if we have an item on planet Earth that when warm and heated up smells so delicious and intoxicating, yet cold and left in the can smells like diaper diarrhea.
It smells like cat food.
Yeah.
I think if I'm thinking of the right thing, but even no.
No, you're right, because that's what always happens. You open the can, you're already cooking other stuff, so there's aromas happening. You heat it up, you eat. You're no longer hungry. You're disgusted. You're bloated. You go back into the kitchen, and then you get that waft of that can, and it's just disgusting.
So now you know, get rid of the can before going back in that kitchen.
Oh.
We're gonna have to. I
don't know. I'm a fan of the bean dip though.
I haven't had it in a long time, but I can't.
And the what, Frank?
And the bean dip guy. I think we need more stunts.
Oh, big fan of Bean Dip guy. Yeah, I like the stunt guy. Stunts. Yeah. Especially to save a business in this day and age. Like that's something the Republicans wouldn't even do. So that's
right.
noteworthy.
I mean, I would sit in a pool of guacamole.
What's the difference?
Me too.
1,000 times more.
What's the difference?
Oh God, guacamole is so good.
Yeah, you're not eating the bean dip. You're just sitting in it.
Oh, but it would just smell different.
You're outside, though.
Hold on a second. Is the guacamole cold? Is it room temperature?
It's outside
Yeah.
temperature, whatever the
Yeah.
temperature is outside.
Oh, if it's hot.
Because I bet that bean dip was heated up. It probably felt like a sauna those first hour or two.
I don't think they
So
heated it up.
gross.
A nice little dip in the hot tub of bean dip there. That must have been a nice little relaxing thing.
Right.
Something tells me they didn't heat it up. It's a lot of bean dip to heat up.
Well, if you have a microwave, unlike I do, it's not too bad.
Right, you don't.
See, Janine knows I don't have a
Okay.
microwave. You see?
I know you don't. I know.
Let
doesn't have a
me
microwave.
tell you the
You're
one
You're the only
time.
person in the world who I know who doesn't have one.
The one time I got because I'm like, I don't need a microwave, and everybody's like, oh, you're crazy. Then Janine came over with her formula, and she's like, can I heat this up in your microwave? We were like, oh shit.
It was I think it was mac and cheese.
Was it mac and cheese? I thought it was formula. Oh, it
Yeah,
was mac
from
and
one
cheese.
of my kids.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's okay.
So regarding bean dip guy, the big thing that people asked was, what are you going to do when it comes to going to the bathroom?
What did he say?
He said, quote, I do have a funnel that's connected to me right now. So anytime I do have to go number one, it's connected to a bag that's attached to my body. For number two, that is a different story. We will just have to wait and see, end quote. So he didn't really answer about number two, which makes me think he's going right in that tub.
He shit himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Ew.
whenever you're doing a 24-hour stunt, you're basically telling the world I'm going to be shitting myself.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Like David Blaine. How many times do you think he shot himself?
He probably had to.
I think he does it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
He's
to
one of
train
those
his
guys.
body to do
Yeah.
it.
He
David
like makes
Blaine.
the same faces like my 2-year-old.
David Blaine, I don't know, man. He's out there. I mean, the way he like regurgitates frogs and fish and stuff.
Yeah. He's strange.
Ugh,
He's
what
a
are you
strange
doing?
cat.
He's probably amazing in bed. I mean, what?
He seems very laid back, a little too laid back.
Wow.
I think he would just expect you to do all the work.
You find
You
David.
think he actually says this is where the magic happens?
God, I hope not. Oh God.
Would that be the
Oh,
only thing that would
killer.
ruin it for you, Janine? Is that's what he
That
said?
would be a total boner assassin.
Oh, but that's the only guy that
I'd be
can
like,
literally
I
say
have to
that.
go.
Oh.
Maybe.
So David Blaine is. I'm always fascinated to see what guys women find attractive. Even he doesn't weird you out. Is it looks or is it the whole?
That's even
thing?
better.
It's
It's
the
even
whole.
better.
He's good looking.
He is.
He doesn't
All right,
look.
so David Blaine or Mind Freak? I don't know that guy's name.
Oh, excellent question. Chris Angel.
What's his name?
Chris Angel.
Oh, David Blaine.
David Blaine or David Copperfield. I don't know why we're
Wait,
ranking.
Didn't David Copperfield date Christy Brinkley?
I think so.
Am I right?
Yeah.
I think so, but
You know what
Again,
that means?
he's also probably in his 60s, so you know that might not work for you.
Oh, no, that's not gonna work.
In his
He's a little too
heyday.
old.
In his heyday. Copperfield in his heyday or David Blaine in his heyday.
Yeah, Blaine, not Copperfield. No.
Wow. Trying to figure out, is it a magician thing or is it just because it's David Blaine?
Do you like magicians
Maybe-
in general?
I mean, like, I don't find them sexually attractive unless they're
Penn or
good
Teller?
looking.
By the way, before you answer that, it was Claudia Schiffer, not Christy Brinkley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
close. Same difference. Okay.
Same thing.
Go ahead. Penn or Teller.
Well, wait. Did I tell you about the story about them once?
Oh,
Wait,
no.
who's the big guy?
Penn.
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 By the way, before
Okay.
you tell the story, massive Penn and Teller fan.
Really?
Love.
They
They're
are great.
weird. They're weird too, right?
Super weird.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
We saw them
I,
live in Vegas.
That's right.
Did you?
That's right. We did. Yeah. They were spectacular.
Wait, did I see? No, I didn't see them. I've watched their shows on TV, whatever. I start this new job, and 2 weeks in, people from the other office, which was in Monaco, they come in, and I had to schedule a dinner.
Wait, Monica
I had-
Lewinsky?
No, Monaco,
Oh.
like the country.
Oh. So not Schwimmer's sister on the Friends
No.
show. Got it. Go ahead. Tell your story.
This is quick. So we are walking to this place to eat, and it's me and like 4 executives from Monaco. And I fucking see Penn on the street. And he's walking towards me, and I'm like, because you know me, I get starstruck, and I just like, and then I'm like, oh, just pointing at him. And I look at the people next to me, and obviously I have no clue who he is. And I was like, oh, I couldn't even speak. And he's like looking at me, and he's just going and laughing at me.
And then when you turned, he disappeared.
Yes.
So what happened?
No, that was it. And I was just like, I couldn't even say anything. And he was laughing at me because he knew I was like, oh.
Maybe he recognized you.
Oh, maybe. Good point, Frank.
Maybe he follows you. Maybe he followed you on TikTok. Who knows? Or is this pre-TikTok?
This is 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But it was funny because I was like trying to tell them that they were like well-known, big like magic, whatever. And they're like, oh, okay. Like they didn't get it. I was like, thanks.
There is nothing worse than trying to tell somebody else how famous somebody is. And I could honestly tell you this because 3 or 4 times in my life, somebody who listened to me on the radio came up to me and was super excited to see me. And they were with somebody.
I was one of them.
And they were like, "This, you don't understand. This guy is hilarious. He's so funny." And you just look over at their friend and they just don't give a shit.
Like, oh, yeah.
They're like, "Oh, cool." And it's like, and they're so excited. They're like, nobody's on the radio. And the person is like, it's fucking 2018. Who gives a shit? Who's not, and it's just, it's awful. It is
annoying because you have to like, don't you know who this is? Oh my God.
Yeah.
No. Oh, okay.
Like, great. Wonderful. And you're like a big fan. And it's frustrating when they don't match your level of excitement.
Exactly.
Yeah, they just don't care. But it's one time that happened to me. We were at it wasn't Dollar Tree, but it was one of those like shitty stores, and you're just in Dollar Tree, and they're like, "This person's a big deal," and the person's like, "We're in a fucking Dollar Tree. How could this be a big?" It's awful.
Yeah, there's no way. You're mistaking him for someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way this guy's a big deal.
Yeah, so I totally get that. Where you're like, oh look, it's, and they just don't give a shit. It's just like one of those, it's one of those.
It was
things.
because obviously they're French, so they don't know who this person is.
Yeah,
stupid American.
I feel like Penn and Teller are international. I feel like they performed all around the world.
But I could see people not know. It's the same thing like when you hear a song and you're like, oh, this song is amazing. And you're with somebody, and you're like, listen to this song, and they're listening to it, and they're like, this song sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's like me every time I tell Gaetano about a song.
Or you're telling them, listen to the song. And then like 10 seconds go by and they start talking, and you're asking you questions, and you're like, you're not listening to the song.
Yeah.
Listen to the song.
Yeah.
We're not changing the subject. The subject is this song.
I retired from trying to tell people what like a good song was, like in person, like 20 years ago, because you just can't,
Everybody has their own.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own style, their own taste.
It also stinks when it's like sometimes like if it's a good song that's not like party happy or whatever, and you're like in this good festive mood and it comes on, you're like, oh, this is great, but everybody's like in a good mood and they don't want to hear it. And you're like, it's like one of those weird, fucking things that happen.
It's like, thanks.
People are weird.
Thanks.
Exactly. All right, Dow Jones hits a record 32,000 for the first time.
Pretty cool.
It's amazing. It's a record high, baby. You waiting for me? I know you are.
Excuse me.
I know you are. I know you're waiting for it.
I'm waiting for it too.
We brought this subject up before the show started, and I went into a little Trump impression.
Oh.
If you elect Joe Biden, the stock market's going to crash. It's going to be over, and it's going to be a disaster. But look at this. And first of all, the stock market does not equal the economy, first of all. The stock market is just that. It's stock market.
Except in 2008.
It's the stock market. Not everybody has. What?
I said except in 2008.
What does that mean?
When there was a big financial crisis.
Well, that was the housing
One
market,
thing has
but
nothing to do with the other.
but
Stock market's a whole
Well, a
separate
little
thing.
bit, yeah.
So, no, they're saying, I didn't even know what my point was, but my point is now that
makes the rest of us, buddy.
He just wants to talk about bad about Trump. Let him go.
no, I don't. No, I don't. It's just another lie, saying what he wants you to.
Excuse me. How do we know that this is even real? Where did you hear this from? The
Can we
fake
get
media?
a recount on the stock market? Who counted
A
them?
recount on the stock.
I want to see all the votes.
The election was rigged. This story, fake news. Just let everybody know. Didn't
Who
happen.
is this Dow Jones person? He is not a Trump fan, so I don't like him.
I know the stock market didn't reach 32,000 because the MyPillow guy just tweeted at me and said
Oh
it
my
didn't.
God.
And he's got a special coming up on OAN, which is going to be fantastic. Everybody should tune in.
The only reason the Dow Jones went up is because I spoke at the CPAC, and that's the only reason.
It's going to 32,000 because Golden Trump statue is actually headed for an IPO. So people are going to be able to invest, and everybody's all excited about the statue.
Get your share of the Golden Trump statue.
Buy my ass portion of it. Get the golden ass portion. It'll be worth more than any other part.
It's the biggest part of the Trump statue. The hands are the smallest.
Listen, points for Frank, though, for actually pointing out the fact that the economy has nothing to do with the stock market, which is true. But do you think that this is a little bit too much gloating a little too quickly by the left because they're all happy about this thing hitting 32,000 post-Trump?
There would be no gloating.
It's going to come crashing down again eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Of course it is. It goes up and down. But there would be zero gloating if Trump didn't come out of the gate saying it's going to crash. If Trump didn't go, you elect Joe Biden, the stock market's going to crash. It's going to be a disaster. There would be zero gloating if he didn't say that. It would just be, hey, look, the stock market's up.
is Joe Biden still president, or did they hand it over to Kamala yet? I don't even know. I never hear from the guy.
Exactly.
Never hear from the guy. That guy is on TV every day.
Is he?
He's given, he was just on today, talking about the stimulus. He talks about, he's on, it's
But
either
was it
him
him?
or his
But
press
was it him?
conference. His press secretary on every other day.
That's not even real Joe Biden. That's a sleepy Joe
That's
robot. I have it on good authority.
It's a
Here's
Joe
Mike
bot.
Lindell to explain how it all works.
It's sleepy Joe Biden.
Joe Bot.
You hear about his dogs?
Yeah.
Somebody. I overheard somebody in a deli talking about this, so I can't comment on it.
Oh my God.
Do you have the?
That's deli talk.
It was deli
Apparently,
talk.
Yeah, the trainer, the trainer for the dogs said that the White House is a little too hectic, I guess, for them. Hectic for these dogs. It's a little too what's it called? High stress, I guess, for the dogs. So they, I don't know exactly what happened, but there was a biting incident. I don't know who got bit or what. But the dogs went back to their home, in Delaware or wherever it was.
That's kind of funny.
By the way, my dogs never bit anybody at the White House.
It's true. They didn't.
That's a true statement.
These left liberal dogs were clearly triggered by the Dr. Seuss story and couldn't handle it. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean,
The Bow Wow Jones went up.
It's one of a million reasons why my presidency was better than Joe Biden's. Our dogs were perfectly calm and normal.
You can't have dogs biting. We built a wall so that dogs won't get in to the White House.
I'm just saying, the dogs were fantastic. All right, we'll leave it there. How dare you, Frank, bring this story up the same week I lost my dog? What is wrong with you?
Again.
Insensitive.
First of all, it's not the same week. Second
it?
of all, shut up.
wow.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thanks to Hero Soap Company for sponsoring this episode. They are just fantastic. Again, you can save 20% off on a subscription when you use the promo code Anthony at checkout. They'll send a bar of soap over to your house every month, 2 or 3 bars if you need that much. Whatever it is, family of 4, they got you covered. Get that subscription over there at Hero Soap Company. But make sure you click the link in the description below in order for us to get the credit for it. Merch store is booming, by the way. February was the best month for merch. And the Legalize, I don't even know if I have it here to show anybody right now.
Did we get 5 whole shirts sold?
We sold 2 shirts, and it was amazing. No, we sold a lot of shirts. So thank you for the support, of course, as always. But the Legalized comedy shirt was the most popular shirt in
Really?
in February.
Like how many shirts? Tell me how many shirts.
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but we sold. I sold a good
Okay,
amount
like
of
50?
shirts.
Okay, cool.
We sold 32,000 shirts, the same amount as the stock market today.
Oh my god.
It was fantastic.
We sold as many shirts as there were people in my inauguration crowd.
Yeah. I don't know because I don't look at them. The producer runs that portion of the thing, and she just told me that the thing was good on February. So,
is your producer sitting right next to you?
She's across the other side of the studio listening to something else. She has her headphones in.
Probably listening to a better podcast, right?
Man, hey Janine, stop torpedoing us. What the hell?
Listen, don't you know when you tell people something bad, they go to the opposite?
She's listening. She's listening to Joe Rogan right now. I think I'm pretty sure he's got a good guest on. Because she hasn't looked up in like an hour.
Is she listening to the Obama Bruce
the
Springsteen podcast?
No, I haven't even listened to that. Have you? I want to listen to that.
Have not.
Yeah, check that out.
We'll see. Maybe it's good. Who knows?
So
how are you guys doing since last week?
Well, I was gonna make a big announcement that we're gonna have a new co-host joining the show. Yeah. Starting next week, Piers Morgan will be here in the fourth chair.
How the mighty have fallen.
We just can't bring up Meghan Markle. I promised him we wouldn't.
That'll be category 1. I'm writing it down.
So
Meghan Markle.
Everybody be on their best behavior. We'll leave it there. Appreciate you guys watching and or listening. AnthonyOnAir.com, links to the merch store and the Clips episode and everything else. Thank you guys so much. And we'll